Thank you. So we're really lucky that my volunteering boss, Kari, has agreed to come and talk to us, because I realise I go on about how amazing the forest is all the time, and we probably both are really guilty of doing that. But when you haven't visited, how do people know how amazing it is? So can you maybe tell us why it's so special here?
Yeah, so Ashdown Forest, we're 6,500 acres. 2/3 of that is heathland, which is a habitat rarer than the rainforest. Internationally, it's really, really important for a lot of wildlife. So we have ground nesting birds that rely on the heathland to breed each year. It's also got a really rich cultural history, and there's a lot of people who've lived here for generations and generations, and they come onto the forest every day. There's loads of benefits in terms of mental health, physical health. It can help with the fight against climate change, can help with biodiversity loss. So yeah, the list goes on. It's an amazing place.
It's pretty special. Someone here loves it very much, rustling around on the floor. When my clients come here to have sessions, what can they expect to see?
Well, it depends what time of year you go out. The forest really changes seasonally. So if we're out at the moment, it's coming up to the end of summer. We've got nightjars about still. So if you went for a walk in the evening, you might hear the churring nightjars. We've got migratory birds that come over here from Africa, like the redstart. We've got lapwings who breed. And then for the other extreme, if you come in the winter, because we're so high up, we often get a really beautiful snow cover. And it's such a contrast from the purple of all the heathers and the bright green of the leaves on the trees to that blanket of snow. And then at that time of year, you might get things like siskins.
I think that's really important, actually, what Kari mentions about the seasons, because that's the thing I've noticed living here. It's so different all the time, and I think that that's another really important thing that we can draw back into business. Like when you are somewhere where you really see the seasons change and noticing that we're not always in summer, everything isn't always in full bloom, but all of the kind of like the getting ready of autumn and the kind of the promise of spring, I think we can take a lot of that back into business as well. Definitely. I know that that's really reminded me since I've been here of what the seasons mean. So then going back on that track of kind of business and corporate people coming here, I mean, it's quite different to us running around with our dogs and doing our bird watching. What do you think the benefit is for those individuals in coming here?
When I think about the executive life or the life of a senior leader, it's full of distractions, constant distractions, and now even more so that we have emails on our phones, people popping in to ask questions. It's just absolutely constant. And that stress will have obviously a negative impact on your physical health. If you're always in that high stress status, you might not even notice that you're stressed. You might become so stressed out that you don't even recognise that that's happening anymore. But what that's going to do is really narrow your perception of things. You're not going to be able to make strategic decisions. You're not going to be able to make creative decisions. You're definitely not going to have very good interpersonal skills. If you come to the forest or spend some time outside in nature, it immediately relaxes you. Instead of thinking about emails and hearing pings from your phone, you listen to the wind rustling through the trees or the birds singing. You're looking at all the different colours, all the different textures, and that's going to make that you're more in the now. You're not thinking about the next meeting you have or a task that you need to do. And that's going to allow you to relax, recuperate, and think more clearly. So I think it will be really beneficial.
Awesome. Couldn't agree with all of that more. Tell me a little bit about why you guys chose to give me a licence when this isn't something you've done before.
So anything that brings people in who might not necessarily have come of their own accord to the forest is really beneficial, especially if the people who are going to be talking to them, like yourself, understand the significance of the forest and the impact that the forest has locally, nationally and internationally, and how important it is to not only protect but enhance these areas of nature. So yeah, I think you'll be a perfect person to influence other people when they come to the forest, and hopefully they'll take something away and apply it to the other areas that are around them that need protecting.
It's amazing, thank you. It's such a joy to be here, it really is. So I'm so grateful and to have this collaboration with you and the rest of Ashdown Forest Management.
Yeah,
so thank you. What is your earliest memory of being outdoors?
Oh wow, of outdoors, not even just the forest. I've always been outdoors. Even when I was tiny, I was quite lucky because we lived kind of on the edge of a village and we had quite a big garden. And my brother and I were allowed to just roam free, effectively, and we'd go off and knock on our friends' doors and we'd go out down the woods or build dens. We used to also do little studies on our pets, so we raised chickens and we used to measure the chickens' beaks and the chicks' legs and catch frogs and count how many frogs we had, basically doing very small ecological surveys in the back garden.
Amazing.
I've loved bird watching.
Ecologist from birth.
Exactly. I don't know where I learnt that. I must have seen it on the telly. And bird watching. So I was a member of the RSPB's kind of children's areas called the Young Ornithologist Club from, I must have been really, really tiny. So that's always been a huge part of my life. I couldn't think of any other way to spend my time. It's just so ingrained that that's what I've always done.
That's so beautiful, thank you.